So all you need for this painting today are your primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. And you can add sap green and burnt umber and black and white. Now, if you don't have sap green or burnt umber, you can use whatever you have on hand. And same with your primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. So they can be cad red, cad yellow, and ultramarine blue. They're the most popular ones, but whatever you have on hand, I'm sure we can work with it. Okay, for this very simple painting, we are going to take some blue for a sky and add white. Not even going to mix it that well. I'm just going to take the two colors on my brush and I'm going to go up here. See how you get the paint separating like that? Isn't that nice? So that way you don't have to spend time mixing. You save lots of time mixing, and it mixes on your canvas and it looks really good. Go back into your blue, white. Don't even bother to mix it. And let's go in here. I'm just trying to show you some quick ways of making landscapes without having to spend 15-20 minutes just mixing your paint to try to get the perfect color that you want. You can do that too, but I'm just trying to show you something different. So, more blue, lots of white. Alright, look, tons of it. Good. So, get all these different shades of blue, different values. I'm going to come down to about here. Alright. Let's see, about halfway down I'm going to use that as my horizon line. Okay, I'm going to put more white on my brush instead of blue. Okay, just leave your brush dirty and we lighten up that bottom part there. Perfect. So now, see how long did that take us to do a sky? Now we'll add some clouds. Just get it the way you want it. Don't have to spend a lot of time at it. So I'm just using my bristle brush, and it's about a ½ inch. And now that you got your sky done, as you can see, you got all kinds of different colors in there, values of blue. You could have added a few other colors if you want to, but let's just go with this for now so I can just show you some quick, easy ways to make a landscape. So on your dirty brush, pick up some white. Just use the corner of your brush, it'll be faster. And then just touch and scrub, 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 scrub. Scrub, 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 touch and scrub. Look at those amazing clouds just by touching and scrubbing. Look, just move your, see? Now you got your clouds done. How many seconds does that take? Now that didn't take us very long to do a sky and clouds, did it? Now let's do a foreground. So now you can use sap green, but you can also, I love using the yellow and the blue. That way I'll have extra values in my color. So you got sap green, it's only one color. But do it this way and you get several values to your greens. Just watch. Okay, so just take some yellow and some blue. I'm just putting yellow on one side and blue on the other. It doesn't matter, you can just dip it all into each other. And look, see, I got the blue and yellow. And all I'm going to do is go back and forth. And look at the beautiful greens I'm getting. Isn't that amazing? Pick up some more yellow and blue. Just go back and forth. And now we got our grassy area. Good. See? Take a couple minutes to do that. I'm going to pick up a little more yellow than blue this time. Ah, nice. See how you're getting all those colors? I'm going to go back more yellow instead of blue. Dirty brush. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to go back and get more yellow. Just going to go back here. We'll lighten that up after. There we go. The blue is pretty strong, so you're going to get a lot of blue turning to green there. You can make it kind of like a valley up here if you want. So we didn't use tape to do our horizon line, so now we can make kind of a valley. Valley. There we go. See, valley. Good. Might put some distant trees there or something. Let's just keep playing with this much first. Just throwing in some yellows. I'll lighten that up after. Good. Down here. See, the way I'm teaching you right now is you don't have to be fussy. You're just putting on color. That's all you're doing. Putting on color. You don't have to worry about detail. Alright. So get your blue and yellow and put it down here. Good. Need lots of paint to get it to spread, okay? Look at that. Now you got your foreground done. Look at that. Clean it up a little bit. And you got that much done. Look at that. Already you got a nice foreground with grass, nice sky with clouds, all in what, that didn't take us no time at all. Now you can do anything. Now that's a background for any landscape, right? And if you got a grassy area here, you can even put in a path. You can put in distant trees, fence. You can put in birds in the sky. You can put in big trees, all kinds of stuff. So you got that. You can get that done in no time. So I'm going to show you how to make your grass look even more realistic by using a fan brush. If you don't have a fan brush, just use your bristle brush. You may not get exactly the same results, but just try a fan brush, and if you have a bristle one, be great. So we're going to dip into basically the same color of yellows and greens. See, and I didn't even mix it. All right, here we go. Now just tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Alright, and then you just tap on with your fan brush and you'll get a grassy look. Tap over it if it's too much coming up. But as you come forward, it'll get bigger. Further away it is, then the smaller it will be, okay? So that's your grass. Look at that. Look at that. See that? Alright. So, as you can see, we can put some grass back here to make it a little more realistic looking. Alright, so just tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Some grass going there. Get more paint if you need it. And as you tap it on, you'll see that it'll look more thicker. And it will look like grass. See? Now I'm showing you a very quick way to do this because it's fun, and show you that you don't have to spend many, many hours doing little blades of grass. But if you want to do that, I mean, you certainly can, you know. Certainly do whatever you want, but if you want to do quick little paintings, you could probably do little 5x7s and 8x10s and use this technique, and you'll have paintings done in no time. But see the grass coming out already? Just by tap, tap, tapping. See? See? There we go. Yes, you can spend many hours if you want to. Sometimes you like to get a bunch done, you know, especially if you're into selling your paintings, these small paintings. It'll be impossible, you know, to do a really quick painting on a 16x20 or even bigger again. But with the small, this canvas here is 11x14. Now as you get forward, you can lighten up your paint because it's closer so you can see the detail. Okay, I don't like that. I added too much white, so I'm going to go back into my yellow. Alright, you can add white for little flowers and things. I'll show you how to do that after. So just get a nice bright color here in the foreground down here. Tap, tap, tap. Look, I'm not even being fussy. I'm just putting that on there. Good. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Like flowers. I'm not even trying. I'm just tap, tap, tapping away and hoping for the best. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. I might have some highlights back here. Probably will brighten it up a little bit back there if you want. Just put a little bit of grass back here. We don't want too much because it's further away. Alright. So just tap on a little bit back here. Good. There we go. Clean it up a bit back here. Get some of that push back in. So your fan brush is great for doing grass and things like that. Foliage. Good. Now see, you got that much done in no time at all. Just by tap, tap, tapping away. A few seconds, minutes. Right. There we go. Already, look, isn't that nice? Now if you want a few little white flowers in front of your foreground, just take your bristle brush. We've been using our bristle brush since the beginning. So, yeah, just one brush is all you need. One brush for that painting. So just dab on a few little white flowers here and there. Alright, I just picked up a bit of white and I'm just throwing on these little bits of white, just so that it might be some white little flowers in there. Alright, add my yellow and blue, not mixing it up big lot, and I'm going to go into some white. Okay, so white, yellow and blue. Let's see what it does, because distant trees you want them to be really nice and light, right? Really, really bright, so you can't see them. Alright, it was too bright, just add more green. There we go, see? That nice? Which is good because, see how bright they are? And now you can just get some more blue to darken up some of them if you like. Just tap, 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 tap. That's all we're doing is tapping. Tapping and tapping. How easy is that? Isn't that amazing how easy painting can be? Don't have to make it complicated. Oh, look at that. Look at that. How long did it take us to do that? Now, didn't take us very long to do that, did it? Look at all that nice things we got done. Gosh, no time at all. So let's pick up some yellow with our bristle brush and just clean up the edge down here. Good. Now distant trees can also be blue. Usually blue is nice for distant objects, subjects, and all that good stuff. So I'm just bringing this back here to clean that up. Good. That's it. Now, right here, we're going to put a little fence. Separate that. Alright. First of all, let's put a little path here. And we just need a little bit of burnt umber. Same brush. Burnt umber, a bit of yellow, and some white. I didn't mix it. See? Just got it all thrown in there. And I'm going to decide where I want to have my, let's see, let's go over here. Make it come over this way. Okay? Make it like a C. Alright, if I got too much paint, I just wipe it off. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. Let's see, maybe end this way. Okay. So now we put a little path in. Good. She might need more paint. Same colors. If you want to add a little bit more brown than the other colors, you can. Good. It's coming right off. Now you don't have to do this. You can keep your back, the one we just did. But if you want to add extra things, this is what you can do. A little path. Alright. Back there somewhere. On off. And there we go. I added a bit more brown so you can see it. Okay. There we go. And that dries, and we can put some highlights in there and whatever else we need. So we can add some more yellow for a highlight on top of here. So the path is going back here. Good. Thank you. So let's put some highlights on the path with your brown and your yellow and white to make a creamy color. Okay. And we will add some highlights just by going back over like this. Stay horizontal. Stay horizontal. Alright. You might have a bit of shadow area down here so you can skip over a little bit there. Good. And that's it. Spread it out a little bit. Good. Now you get some highlight on your path. Good. Now just to clean up the edges of that path, just tap into your green and your blue. Don't worry about mixing it totally. And then just put a little bit of grass around the edges here. Spread it out. Some of that grass go right over the path. Boom, boom, go in, go in, go in, go in, go in, don't be afraid. Same over here. A little bit of grass just to bring it in on your path. It's okay. Tap, 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 tap. Good. Tap it out into what you already have done. Whatever's left over on your brush. Don't need more paint yet because you're going to... There we go. Just bring it back into that. Now you get more paint if you need it. And then just do this edge here. Good. It was too light. Get some more blue. Darken it up. And there we go. Right around the edge. Get more yellow if you need it. Oops. Okay. And then you go boom, 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 boom. And then mix that in with what you already have done. Don't go leaving just like lines and everything looks separated. Even if you have to go back in here again. It's okay. Good. Good. See? You get some grass coming over on your path. Just go right over on it. See? So that gives your path a grassy look. You want a little more shadow down here in the corner. You can darken it up in here a little bit more. That's it. Now you got all that done. Perfect. Now we will change to one more brush, to the chiseled edge flat brush, okay? Chiseled edge. And we'll use that for our fence and a big old tree. So just take your burnt umber, put it on your... And let's find a place for a big old tree. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe here. Let's go down into the grass a bit. Make a line. And where do you want to end it? Decide. And touch. And pull. And turn your brush to get a skinny top. Okay, so you can see through that. So I'm going to add more. You need a second coat. So you can add a bit of blue, ultramarine blue, to your burnt umber, and that'll make it even more dark. Okay. So let's get that up there. Let's try. keep going. And twist. Good, that's a nice one. Now with the same colors, let's add some branches. So pick out a place where you want your branches. Touch off your tree first and then pull out on your chisel edge. Okay, that's one. Maybe there's two. Maybe there's three. And maybe there's a couple over here. Good. Maybe there's another one up here. And now off of those, we make smaller branches. So just take your brush and make smaller branches. So come off of the one that you already have made, touch very lightly, and make these smaller branches very lightly. Now you can use a liner brush for this if you have a hard time getting this. Okay, so we'll take some branches off the branches. Good, good. Take a branch off the branch. Another one here, another one here. Now you can even leave it like that if you wanted to, but I'm going to throw some leaves on it there for you. So we're now back to our bristle brush that we used in the beginning. It's only 2 brushes. Most of it was done with 1 brush. So let's go back into our green and our blue to make a nice dark green. Don't mix it, just put the 2 colors on your brush. Look at that. I know. And you're probably going to go, that's not going to work. Well, let's hope it does. Oh, nice. Look at that. Can you see that? Get a little close up for you. See that? Look. Isn't that pretty? See how the colors are all, I'm not pushing really hard, but see how the colors are, all the different values of colors that you're getting, the yellows and greens, just by tapping lightly. Use those branches as a guide. Okay, leave some holes if you can. All right, just touch. Good. See that? When you touch, you get some dark and some light colors because you didn't mix your colors. Let's say the sun is coming in on the right. It looks like it might be. I don't know. We'll just make it up as we go along. But you have to know where your light source is. It helps you get a really nice place to put your lights. Alright, so there's a nice little tree. Tap, 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 tap. Everything is tapping. A lot of tapping going on here today. Alright. A lot of tapping. Nice little tree. Don't mind that over there. I'm going to fix that. So we got too much on there. Just go back in with your green and yellow, and you might have to wait for it to dry in order to get it, but I'm just going to tap over it. See, I toned it down a bit there now. Alright. Get a little bit of highlight coming in here more, so it'll all match. Just adding a bit more yellows. Good. When that dries, we'll add more darks and lights. That's just the start. Alright, I'm going to thicken up some of these branches a little bit more. There we go. So you can add more, right? To get the shape of the tree you're looking for. Good. That's a nice little tree. Cool. So to add some more highlights, we don't want too many, you know, but we got to make them a little more over here with less highlight, but just to get another little layer of paint, just to thicken up the tree a little bit. Good. Pretty little tree. Now we'll do some highlight on the trunk there. So we'll take our trunk and go back to our let's go back to our chiseled edge brush. So we want to highlight the bottom of that trunk there. So just take some white, a little bit of green and brown, whatever colors you want, okay? And then take some paint and lay it on the side here. All right. Lay it on the side. Good. Bring it out a little bit more here. Just on this side. Good. And now, without putting any more paint on your brush, just move it a little bit in towards here so that you leave the back dark. Let's bring this one out a little bit more, get some shape. Clean off your brush and get some brown and blue just to darken it up. Alright, so you can shape up your tree then as you're going along. Alright, good. Good, now just go back and get a little bit of brown, and if it's too light here, which I find mine's a little bit too light, I'm just going to put a little bit more brown back in there. See, just to tone it down a bit. Good. Just toning it down, shaping it up. Alright. Now, that's it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, my mistake. But I'm going to leave that and I'm going to pull that up here. Get a little more highlight. Alright. See? You can make a happy accident. It's okay. It's okay. Good. So with our bristle brush, let's go back and get our blue and yellow. And tap into it, and a little bit of grass around the tree here. Just to ground it, okay? Good. Might need a shadow there. So if the sun is on the right, then the shadow is going to be on the left. So get more blue this time instead of yellow, okay? And then we're going to put a darker shadow in here. Maybe we can even go across the path and go right over here. Alright. It's a shadow. See? Nice little shadow. Good. So back here, get some more yellow on your brush. Let's lighten this up a little bit because that's where the sun is. So I want to get a bit of brightness going on back here. Maybe it's not dry enough for me, but try and get some brightness back here. You add a bit of white to your yellow might help. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. That's better. Good. Nice. Nice. Look how fast we're doing this painting. Aren't we doing this wonderfully fast? It's coming out nice too, isn't it? Probably the same with over here. Some yellow and white. Let's see. Maybe a little bit over here. Here in the back, but it's more shadowy over here because that's where the don't want too much lightness over there. So we'll just go back and get a bit of green, put it in there. Good. Good. Wow, how's that? See how the shadows and the highlights make it really nice? Alright, let's make a fence. Just use your chiseled edge synthetic brush and just get some brown. Some brown and blue just to make it nice and dark. Burnt umber and blue. And with the chiseled edge, let's make some fence posts. Let's see. Maybe the fence is there not too far away from the tree. So let's put one here. And one here. And one, let's see. Got one here. And maybe one here, and maybe we'll make a little gate, something like that. Okay, there we go. And maybe there's one over here. here. I'm not even, you know, measuring the fence because it's a really old fence falling down, so I'm not going to worry about it, you know. But you can certainly measure a distance if you want to. All right. Our little fancies. So now we are going to put some white on the top of our brush. We are going to have brown on the bottom and white on top, and we'll pull over these fence between the fences, okay? You can do that with one stroke if you want to, or you can put your brown on first and then go on top with white, but I find this is so much easier. Touch, pull, touch, and pull. Now I got too much white on mine, so I'll fix that for you just by adding a bit of brown. Good. Good. And we'll put a little bit of white on top between here for this one. Good. And then we will add a little bit of white to the edges of here because the sun is shining on that side. Up that side and that side. That one there might have a little bit of shadow because it's pretty close to the tree. So we'll darken that one up a little bit. Maybe a little bit here. Good. Nice, we're almost done now. Like I say, you can add whatever you want to. You can have little farm animals there if you want, or you can have birds in the sky. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bristle brush and put some yellow on there with a bit of blue. And I'm going to put a bit of grass up around here, around the fence. Just enough to make it look like there's some grass up around the fence. See that? Nice. Just make sure you mix it all together. So you have to move your brush around a little bit more just to make it, because you don't want it to look like it's all these separations of color, right? You want it to all look like it's one, all in one painting. Okay? See? So try to spread open your bristle brushes, your brush, and let's add a little bit of color to the bottom part here, because red and green are complementary to each other. So let's put some red flowers on there. So I'm just going to put a bit of red on my brush, and I'm going to tap on a little bit of red. Just touch, 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 touch. Add a little bit of white to that to brighten it up so you can see it. Just a few little flowers over here in the corner. Maybe a couple over here. Not much. I'm not going to overpower it with too many flowers, okay? A little more white. And we will add some flowers over here. See? Just touch gently. Right? Alright. And then we get some more over here. Just for color. Just tap, tap, tap. Maybe there's a couple around this area. I don't know. Find some areas. I'll tell you another nice color to get in there. Put a bit of blue and red together and get a kind of a purplish look, and then white. Just tap into blue, tap into red. No mixing. And then white. See the three colors on there? Let's see what that looks like. Nice. Okay, that's nice. All the different colors. Look at the different colors. Now I'm going to add white on top or around that area to bring them out. Look at that. Little flowers in the field. Isn't that cute? Alright. Little flowers over here. Make them stand out more just by tap. So you can tap over. If you didn't get the results that you wanted, just tap over them again. Alright. Now, like I say, you can add more things to that if you want to. That's a very pretty painting. I'm happy with that. That's nice. I mean, there's lots of things you could do if you want to do more things with it. But as it stands, it came out fairly nice. I want to show you some nice paintings. I don't want you to... and this is the simplest way to make... Let's see, where'd that gate go? Let's put something here like this. Yeah, just bring something over like that, just to give it there's a little gate there. Okay, here we go. Now you have a finished painting. As long as you have your shadows in and your highlights and a few little details, it'll look really pretty. Darks and lights go really nice together. So you have some nice light spots and dark spots. If you find something a little too dark, you can always too light, you can always darken it up again. If you need more shadow, just put some in. See, if it was too light, just put some in shadow. See, and that will give it more definition too, right? More depth. See, as simple as that. Request from Sylvia, and Sylvia asked for an elephant and 2 babies, but I couldn't find a picture I was really interested in doing, so I'm just going to do an elephant, and this will give you an idea of how you can do elephants, whether it's a big elephant, small elephants, and that should help. So the first thing I'm going to do to make this very easy for you is I'm going to take a liner brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to put that liner brush in our black paint and just put black paint on our liner brush, and we're going to outline the elephant with black paint. So just take your brush and go over those black lines with black paint. Then you can see it even better. Alright, so we will do that, and then you can make lines fairly thick. So now we have the shape is the main thing. Once you get the shape done, then all you have to do then is paint in your shadows. Basically 3 values. So we're going to start off with, okay, so our darkest value is the outline that we did. Get a small flat or filbert brush, okay, something that has a chiseled edge, and fill in some dark areas where we think shadows may be. So we say there's a shadow here, so we'll just go on the line that we already made, and we'll thicken it up, okay. We'll pull in some of that shadow color there. Just pull it in. And if we need to lighten up different places, we'll do that. But I just want to get something started for you. We have a nice line here. Pull it in. And we'll have a line here. Pull it in. So we're just trying to establish our shadows. There we go. Where else we got a shadow? Let's see. Probably inside here. In here. Maybe down here. And here. Maybe we have some shadows in here. So we'll take each line and decide where we want more shadow. We'll take the line and we will bring that in here a little bit, okay? And we'll thicken up this line over here. That'll be a bit of a shadow there. And I think we're getting all the shadows pretty well marked off. A little bit there. Maybe we have some shadow here. So now we'll go with our medium color. Our medium. To your dirty brush, add white. And that will give you a nice medium gray. We're not too light yet because we need a nice highlight, so that'll be our third value. So dark, medium, and light. So let's just scrub in. That could be dry on you now, but that's okay. But it'd be nice to get it if you could get it while it's still wet. You could bring it over and blend it all together. If you can't, if it dried up on you, just add a little bit of black so that it'll match. Good. We'll try another side. Or if the black is dry, just wipe off your brush and your tissue as much as you can. Just wipe it all off. And till there's no more left on it. And then scrub that gray into the black so that it all blends nicely. So if you ended up going for a cup of tea and everything was dry when you came back, you may have to put some black on and a little bit of gray, sort of start over a little bit. So let's put some gray, our medium value, on other places. Probably here. Try to keep your dark line. That's why I put the dark lines here, to make it easier for you to keep the shape. So you could see where you were putting your colors. Good. So when you go back and forth, you may have to match up your gray. If it's not exactly the same color, it's no big deal. As long as it's got a medium tone to it. We'll go down here into the trunk. All right. We will continue on with the rest of the body. If you put this on a painting, you can put on a plain canvas and then paint around your elephant with a tree and some grass. Make it simple. If you do it this way, it could get a little confusing because there's so much color and background there. Now, see, you can see an elephant. All you gotta do is fill it in, really. I mean, there's not really much left to do and you're done. So, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to paint in the tusks. So for the tusks, we need white paint. I'm going to use a liner brush. It's easier to get in. Fill this in. I want to do these next because I want to be able to see the whole shape of the elephant, so we won't get lost. Now you can see the tusks. I'll take some black paint and I'm going to put that around the eye. Just to get the eyes in there. Get the eyes and the shadow back here again while I got the black out. Got the dark value again. So if you want to clean up your dark values, you can do that. Okay. So we're going to get the medium value now and clean up anything that needs to be done here. I think I need to add some more medium value here. If you need to clean anything up, just go back over things that you think need more. Because sometimes when you paint over some stuff, some areas, you're going to go over your black lines that you made. And you may need to put some of them back. I think maybe a little bit of shadow here. Alright, so now we'll take our small flat or filbert brush and we will add some highlights. These are synthetic brushes I'm working with to give a nice smooth look to your painting. So let's pick up some white and make our little bit of gray just to make it very light. And we'll have to decide where we're going to put our shadows and our highlights. And so let's see. Put little highlights here, on the edge. Now, we'll work with that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a clean brush, clean dry brush, and I'm going to scrub at that to soften it up. See? Just want to soften it up so that it blends in nicely with everything else. Nice. Let's see where else we might like some highlight. Maybe a little bit here. Even though I put dark there, you know, you're probably going to end up changing your mind at times and deciding where you want highlights. You can look at your reference photo and see where the highlights are there. Highlight there, maybe some here. Here. Just a little bit of highlight here and there. So we have the sun coming in up from the right. So that might help you decide where you want your highlight. So as you soften it up, you can see it moves around. It just takes a life of its own, so that's a good thing. So let's see, maybe there's some highlight here. Now this area here, just go on the edges here. Maybe here on the edges. That might make it a bit easy. Scrub with your dry brush. Because all the paint is dry now, so what you're putting on now is wet over dry. And that's why you need to move it around with a dry brush to get it to move. I'm just going to put some more here. A little bit more on this side than the other side. And we will So I'm going to wipe off my brush, and I still have a little bit of paint left on it, so I'm just going to scrub away at this here too. Just to even it up. So putting on your highlights might be a little more tedious than everything else. But, you know, that's how you learn. By experimenting. So we're kind of dry brushing on whatever's left over on a brush. We're just throwing that on there. Dry brushing it on. We call it dry brush. That's kind of nice too, isn't it? Very little paint on your brush and you just scrub it on. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to pick up some more really light, our third value, really light paint. Scrub it off in my brush here so make it so there's not too much paint on there. And we'll put on some highlights in here. I'm going to go back to my dark black and I'm going to darken up in here. Just adding a little bit of shadow. I'm just trying to see where it would look nice. So think about your dark, medium, and light values. Okay, I'm kind of getting into a medium value here because I moved away from the black and ended up with a bit of white on my brush. Scrubbing away at the corners here so that gives that a little bit more shadow there. Softening up the edges. It's all trial and error. So dark, medium, and light. Now, let's see if we can get a few wrinkles there. I'm going to highlight the tusk a little bit in here. Just on the top part, I think would be nice. Just where the sun is shining. Right, we gotta leave some shadow. A little on the edge here. So like I say, I'm trying to make this so easy that you could get started this way and then you can look at pictures and put in all the, you know, if you want a close-up of his face or her face and do the wrinkles and everything, that's that would take a lot of time. So let's just take a bit of white around the eye so we can find the eye. All right. A little bit over here. So now we can see the eyes. Are they cool? Maybe a little bit on top. Make sure there's not too much paint on your brush because you want to get these big blobs. and up here. And a little dot in the center. That's the easiest way to do this today. There we go. I'm going to put a little more black on my, because I think I got a little bit too much there. See how easy it is to fix things? That's better, isn't it? That's not bad. And we'll put black spot in here because I think that was too small. And I'll clean off my brush and put a little bit of white on the edge. You can use a toothpick to do this if you like. Little dot. So I'm trying to do some skin wrinkles. We'll just put some on. Let's put on a couple here. Put black on first. And we'll put it across the snout. Alright, so just these lines. Little black lines. Maybe there's one up here, I don't know. They're all over the place. Alright, that's good. So you just put those on, pretty simple. You can also put some indications of wrinkles, maybe here, just to bring in a few little lines right here. With your liner brush. And maybe some on the edges here. I'm not going to put too many because I'm trying to make this as simple as I can for you, okay? Just a simple little painting. So you can at least get started. So just little lines. I think that'll do. That's enough. Because you can, when you look at other pictures of elephants, you can look at all the wrinkles where they have them, and you can take hours and hours if you like. So pick up some gray, a light gray, and use that for a highlight on top of those wrinkles. That'll make them stand out. It's right on top of what you just did, on top of the line. Leave the black underneath. So that's all you had to do, just put some dark lines and then put white on top of those dark lines. Those dark lines are too thick, just fade them out on the bottom here. Blend them in with your skin. Like I say, it takes a lot of time with these small details, so just trying to show you what you can and can't do. And like I say, you can, if you're into elephants and you really want to do a nice painting of an elephant, then at least get started. Get your shape first. Use your 3 values to place your shadows and your highlights. And then from there, you do all these little teeny weeny details. Don't stand out too much. When that dries, it'll fade. And you can see the white fades. Acrylics are funny like that. You put it on, it looks really, really bright, and all of a sudden it's like, where'd they go? So I'll just clean up these tusks a little bit. And I want to leave some of that dark shadowy color there to make them look like they're a bit dirty, or however they right? I don't want to go over all of it. I don't want to leave it. Just clean up the edges a bit. There we go. It doesn't look too bad. A little tiny bit of highlight in here just so you can see that it's another hoof. A little tiny bit in here. Not much, just enough to, because it's too black. You know, as long as you have the shape and you have some shadows, a little bit of wrinkles, you're good to go. So that looks kind of nice in that painting, doesn't it? Now if you want to paint that painting that I have in the background there, I have a link to put the link in my description for you. Then you just add your elephant. So I thought that painting that I did earlier would look nice. I'm going to put some shadow under the feet first before I finish it up. You know that if you put black and yellow together, you'll get green. So I'll put some black for the shadow. I'm going to put black and yellow. And I'm going to get a really dark green. See that? Isn't that cool? I didn't know that when I first started out. I had no idea. The colors you can put together and make nice colors. That's a dark green. I'm going to use that shadow because the grass is green. So I'm just going to put it under his feet, under his little toes here. So if the sun is coming in here, that means the shadow will be to the left. So be mindful of where the light is and things like that. That'll help you get a really nice painting. It'll definitely make you look like you know what you're doing. Leave a little bit of light there, just in case. So just a little shadow, nothing too elaborate. Huh? Yeah, because you don't want to overpower the painting. I might even add a little more shadow over here, because it looks like it needs it, doesn't it? See how you can fix up things? That looks nice, doesn't it? So if you need to add anything to your painting, you can also add some more highlight to your tree, a little bit in your path. Nothing serious, but I'm just looking around to see if I can show you different things that you can do. So we have a little tail sticking out here. Gotta get a little tail in there. Barely see it, that's okay. So I think that's cute and it's easy, simple, very simple. And I did this one earlier just to practice, actually, just practice. But it was darker, and so I just did a little bit different. But basically the same thing, just a dark, medium, and light highlights, a few wrinkles, and I put a bit of grass on the bottom here. But that's just if you want to put on plain. But it's all the same technique. So you just transfer your drawing to your canvas and you draw it out, and you draw out the edges so that you can see the shape of the elephant before you even start painting. And there we go. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you have any questions, let me know. So that's our painting for today, and thank you, Sylvia, for requesting an elephant. I have a few more requests I'm going to try and get at now soon. Well, thank you for watching my video today. I just want to say thank you all for all your support through my Patreon page, and just for watching my videos. I'm really happy that I could do this for you, and I get a lot of nice compliments. So I am so happy that you watched that video, and if you have any questions about what you saw in the video, just leave your comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can for you. And we will do some more videos coming up.